So this is interesting. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell questions integrity of the current salary cap system. The recent success of the Eagles, a team that spent $115 million in cash, more than the Las Vegas Raiders in 2024, is set to be a top 7 cash spender in the NFL again. And almost certainly is an issue for some ownership groups. The Eagles' mantra has been extend players early on their rookie contracts, sometimes immediately after their third year in the league is over, and to consistently convert their salaries into signing bonus to spread the cap payments over several years, by which point cap dollars will be more diluted. And Raj questions this practice.
All right, so like, I'm not disputing the report.
Right.
But the chances are, cuz, that this isn't from the commissioner. This is from a team complaining to the commissioner and putting it on his desk. And then, so it's just like the tush push. Did Green Bay were they really that malevolent about the tush push? Or is this something that the commissioner puts out there and says, like, let's can this, let's make it your fight? Like, I don't really believe the commissioner sits around and goes, the Eagles, like, they manipulate the cap better than anybody. I believe other teams come up with these ideas and put it on his desk, and then it comes out through his mouthpiece. You follow?
I think you're right about that. I do. I think you're dead right about that. Because it's such a huge advantage for the Eagles to be cash positive, to be able to have cash in hand.
Well, not just that.
To do that. The Raiders don't have any cash.
But not just that. Like, they had a whole bunch of free agents this year. They let some guys walk, Darius Slay, they cut, whatever. But, like, are they ever in cap hell? Ever? Like, the Cowboys have been in cap hell. And I go, who the hell are they paying? They're not even paying their best player. So I look.
I mean, that's the greatness of Jeffrey Lurie as an owner.
No doubt. No question. But, it's like these teams that every year at the beginning of free agency, they give us the dollars that teams have to spend, So, this year, New England had a lot of dollars to spend. Jacksonville had a lot to spend. Okay, fine. The Eagles, I just remember one year, remember the year that they, who was the wide receiver they won a Super Bowl with? They signed from Chicago.
Oh.
AJ.
No.
Not AJ Brown.
Yeah.
The kid from South Carolina.
Yeah.
They won a Super Bowl with him.
Yeah. 2017. In fact, he predicted they were going to win the Super Bowl.
What was the guy's name? Jeffrey.
Alshon Jeffrey. I'm sorry. Yeah. So Alshon, they signed Alshon that year, and they had negative money to spend. I'll never forget. They had no money, and they signed Alshon Jeffrey, and he helped them win a Super Bowl. Then they signed LeGarrette Blount off the street, and all these guys that really contributed. Like, I don't know how they did it, but I look at these teams that are in salary cap hell, and they're bad teams. They're bad teams, and I go, how did they get here? Like, aren't they studying what the Eagles are doing?
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, that's a big piece of it, having the cash and converting the cash, because you're able to then spread out the cap payments because you've already paid.
Ultimately, the analogy is they're just kicking the can down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it never seems like the receipt is ever coming due.
No.
Like, you can keep banking that the cap keeps going up. Like, the salary cap started my second to last year in the league. Like, the salary cap in 1993 was the first year of the cap, was $33 million. What is it right now? Is it, I don't even know, 200 million?
Yeah,
like, it just keeps going up.
Yeah, it's stunning.
And their bank is going to go up huge because with the new TV after this deal, all the streaming
that's the whole
services.
Point of the Eagles. So it was like they sign you, they're good until like 29 with some of these bonuses. So you keep pushing it, the money's cheap down the line.
Yeah. They've been saying the Eagles are going to have to kick the can. The bill's going to come due for like a decade at this point.
Again, this is the year they and only because I think that they were going to go easy with the cash.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating how they do it. It really is. Real quick. One, we have a request from the brain. He wants to know if you knew Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay passed.
Of course.
And, you know,
Yeah.
we figured you did. You played for the Colts.
Yeah.
And what kind? I heard he was a cool guy. What was?
Oh, yeah, he was a terrible guy.
Yeah.
I tell you this, one thing about Jimmy, I met him, we were the same age, okay? He played at SMU, I played at Duke. He came to Indianapolis, dad owned the team, you know, and so when his dad owned the team in Baltimore, they moved to Indy, you know, Jim came with the team. And so he was literally, his dad was the owner, he was literally was a 27-year-old general manager. Like he brought Ron Meyer to Indianapolis, he made the trade for Eric Dickerson. When I got there, Eric Dickerson won the rushing title my first year there. But, you know, he was an all offensive lineman. Like he lifted weights every day in the weight room. So he was big back then. You know, he used to lift with our head weightlifting coach, Tom Zupancic. So that's the first time I met him. But he was, the thing about him is he was unbelievably loyal. Like Rick Venturi was our defense coordinator while I was there. He still does the radio for the Colts. I still see Rick every time I see a dual Colts game. Pete Ward is still the CEO, the COO of the organization. Like Pete was there when I was there. The people like Dave Hammer still runs like where you go to get your ankles taped and all that kind of stuff, the treatment room.
Yeah.
People running the equipment room are still there. Like 35 years later, they're still employed by the Colts. The guy is unbelievably loyal. And then unbelievably, like anybody that's ever played there, like you never thought you were less than a first-class organization. Like how they treated you, how you traveled,
That's cool.
equipment, facilities. Like he made sure that it was a first-class place.
That's
You know, like
awesome.
yesterday, this weekend was the Indy 500. You know, when I was there, it was a race car town. You know, it was like the month of May was all about the Indy 500. They had time trials every day at Indy. So you'd go out to the time trials and just watch these guys race. But, you know, Cale Yarborough, AJ Foyt, you know, all the racers used to come to the facility to get treatment because their bodies were all bad. They were worse than football players. Bad ankles, bad knees, whatever. They came to get treatment. So we met all the race car drivers. But when we were there, it was a college basketball. It was Bobby Knight at IU. There was Purdue basketball. It was race car month. And then when they drafted Peyton Manning, and you know, it became a football town. But it wasn't a football town. It wasn't even an Indiana Pacer town. To be honest with you, when I first went there, the Pacers were there, but you know, Jimmy helped put all that stuff on the map.